Lisa the Treehugger definitely took a direction that I wasn't expecting, and I have to say I really thoroughly enjoyed this episode, partly because it was, for me at least, unpredictable, but also because I really like Lisa, and any episode that focuses on her, there's always something about it or her character that I always find interesting. This is the fourth episode of the 12th season of The Simpsons, directed by Stephen Dean Moore. It's got 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, which for this point in The Simpsons is a pretty average rating. Personally, I rate it a little bit more highly. Lisa is starting to become concerned about wasting paper, and she ends up taking part in activism to obviously prevent paper wastage, and she meets this character called Jessie, Jessie Grass, brilliant name, and voiced by Joshua Jackson, and she kind of feels like he's more passionate about it than she is. So she decides to take drastic action to show just how passionate she is. When a tree in Springfield is threatened to be cut down, she decides to stake out in the tree, to obviously prevent people from cutting it down, because they're not going to cut it down when she's there. But things don't necessarily go to plan, and what happens with that tree, I don't want to say, I won't spoil it, but I did not see it coming. Maybe everybody else did and I didn't, but it took me by surprise, and I enjoyed it. I really liked what happened with it. Not that I liked what happened with the tree specifically, but I liked that part of the narrative, and kind of what happened with Lisa after that, or the treatment of Lisa, and how everybody responded to her character and how they reacted to what they thought had happened to her, I thought was, again, unpredictable and quite sweet and moving. Certain members of the Simpsons family took advantage of that, absolutely. But it's kind of interesting to see how various family members responded to this, and indeed how the people of Springfield responded to it as well. And the whole Lisa Land thing, which I won't explain, but the concept of Lisa Land I found to be amusing. And something that I really enjoyed. I did obviously the episode has a strong message in it about making us think about wasting trees, about recycling, about conservation, and about how we treat nature in general. But because it's done in a way that's got a very peculiar, gripping narrative with some interesting characters in it, some new characters that we don't normally meet, it's a fresh narrative that I find to be very engaging and very entertaining. So the message is technically in your face, but also not, if that makes sense. And I think they've got the balance there very well. You can learn from it without feeling like you're being lectured, which I think is always the best approach when it comes to narratives. Love the treatment of Lisa's character. Love the narrative development. I found it very unpredictable and quite surprising, and I have to say, I really enjoyed Lisa the Treehugger.